that, as I said, racism is sapping the strength of the whole society through the waste of human resources. So there are many white people who are actively anti-racist, and that's so important. I think you have maybe the most important role, but it's not as an ally. When you talk about ally, then it's almost as if you're just, like if you want to go on vacation for a month, you're like, okay, check you in a month, hope the struggle goes well, right? You know, it's not like that. You have to be part of it. And so what is the role of white people in this struggle? Well, in McKinney, Texas, 3 summers ago now, which is outside of Dallas, you all may remember there were some young teens who were celebrating one of their birthday at a pool. That was in one of the neighborhoods, right? They got to the pool, and the people who were there objected, right? And called the police, and what we saw was a police officer dragging this young black girl by her hair, and then sitting on her, and the young black boy sitting with their hands handcuffed behind their backs while they're sitting on the curb. And so I asked people, how do we know about that? And people are like, social media, right? But then I was like, how? And I didn't know the answer to how we knew about that until the next day, when I saw this young white boy being interviewed on TV, and he said, you know, it was almost as if I were invisible to the police. So he was one of the friend group. He was at the party. He saw what was happening to his friends, and he could have run home for safety. But recognizing that his white skin made him almost invisible to the police, he stood up in the middle of all that mayhem and videotaped what was going on. And so to people who are living as white in this country, that's a constructed thing too. There's a whole book, How the Irish Became White. I mean, there are many, you know, it's all a constructed category, all of these. But for people who are living as white in this country, even though you might be poor, your white skin privilege didn't get you out of poverty, but it still gives you some privileges, you know, whatever. I think instead of trying to deny the white skin privilege or don't give me that, I think what we have to do is use it, recognize it, and use it. And you will be in places where I will never be. And you will hear things said or see things being done that I will never see. And I could talk for a week, I could tell stories for a week and not have as much impact as a word or an action from you. Yeah. So take that on. I'm not deputizing anybody because this is all of our struggle. Just recognize that you have a real role, and your role is with the people, sure, the people of color, but it's more importantly with white people. So then the other thing is about goose formation. So this is just a way I've been thinking about it now, as I'm getting older. So first of all, as all of us get older, we need to always be reaching behind, you know, mentoring people up and all, because sometimes we think, oh, we'll always be here, and then all of a sudden it becomes really clear that you won't, right? But the other thing is that when you see geese flying, so you see there's one at the head, and then they're breaking the wind for the ones behind, and then they're breaking the wind for the ones behind, and you see that goose formation. What happens to the one who's at the head? When they get tired, they don't just fall to the ground, or they don't just, you know, go off like someplace wrong. They fall back into the formation, and somebody else takes the lead. And what we need to do is to create or identify our flocks, decide that we're all going south, we're all going here. And then it's not just on one person to always be in the lead, right? That person can lead and break the wind for a time. Then they need to rest. They come back, and then somebody else will take the lead, and then they need to rest. And as long as everybody agrees, we are a flock, and this is where we're going, then we can sustain ourselves much better. That we won't have as much burnout, and we won't be expecting other people to. We all have that ability to lead and to break the wind for those coming behind us. So.
Thank you so much.